Everybody, this is Anon Soul. I'm bringing to you another Shibwifhat video. Really appreciate everybody that supports my content. I just want to say this is not financial advice. This is just conviction in a particular project. For all those who are new listeners to me, sorry about that. I just want to run through what Shibwifhat is. It is a meme coin with utility on the Solana ecosystem. They're building a Shiba swap, Shib swap, which is coming soon. If you could see my mouse here, you can see that they're building this right here on Solana ecosystem. In my previous videos, I've covered the market analysis of why this is an excellent move and why it should be by looking at the deprecation of volume on the biggest DEX on Ethereum which is I think Uniswap. So I think that this is a great market play. I think this is there's a lot of if you're looking to be like a potential investor, this is something that you would look like, is there room for that and stuff like that. So I think it is, and I think it's within reason. I also want to point out that this swap was actually leaked when it was on Netify. Shout out to Turinga, and a lot of members, OG members of the community, was able to play with it and test it. And we have photos of it. We've shared it before. It's kind of like old alpha by this point, but for new holders, there's definitely the swap is in place, and I've actually used said swap. Fortunately, was able to use it. So this is pretty bullish. As for the release of this, it's to be announced, TBA. So we don't really have a date on that and all that jazz. So this is a really great opportunity, because if you think about the congestion issues we experienced some time back ago in April in Solana ecosystem, we've noticed that the Solana ecosystem, there was an explosion in growth. And we could prove that by just looking at the sold trend in Telegram. You can just make a note of the amount of users and the date, and then revisit that a week later, and you'll see that that number has increased. So there's definitely a lot of growth happening. I mean, it's a rudimentary metric, to be fair, but there's a lot of growth happening on the Solana ecosystem, and I think that it's logical to build something of this magnitude on Solana, especially with the Solana mobile phone and all this other stuff. You see there's a lot of innovation that's occurring on this blockchain. And with that being said, it's just, if you're a developer with Web3 apps and stuff like that, you definitely want to be where the innovators are, and where the fees are lesser and things like that, and there's more people. It's more excitement in this atmosphere. So I think there's a lot of opportunities here for this SHIB swap to be extremely successful. With that being said, there's more to this than just that. There's I want to cover the accusations pertaining to the connection to the OG SHIB team. There's a lot of accusations about the OG SHIB team's connection to this particular project. I'm going to cover that as well in this video. I'm also going to take some time and run through some bullish alpha that I kind of found by just conversating, hanging out on a VC with time waits for no one, and basically just and goon and non-goon, and we're just chilling on a VC and just like, hey, let's play with SoulScan, and we kind of figured out some cool alpha there. Very bullish alpha, to be fair. I can't wait to show you guys this. We took that alpha, and then I started looking into Telegram and correlating alpha from the SoulScan and then what was posted early on the Telegram, and then start taking that data and then correlating to data that we found on Twitter. So if you think, so I did a lot of correlation across multiple platforms and data across multiple platforms, and I think I've stitched a good narrative together. And it's granted, it is a theory, highly conjecture and subjective, but I have the circumstantial evidence to kind of prove it. So this video is going to be extremely exciting and very fun, and I'm looking forward to cover it. Now, before we go into the alpha, I do want to talk about the NFTs for the new holders as well, for the new users on board if you see this video. There is NFTs. The NFTs have a utility as well. So if you have an NFT, if you purchase an NFT and you hold it, I think there's only 1,000 NFTs that will exist right now. There's about like 400, I think, or just under 400 at this point in time that are have been purchased. But if you do possess one of these NFTs in your wallet and you make a transaction, a buy and sell on the SHIB swap, you won't have any fees, which is interesting. So buys and sells will be excluded from fees. That's more overhead. That's more the NFTs themselves have a utility, and it integrates very nicely with the SHIB swap, which I think is extremely bullish and well thought out and extremely methodical. And once again, these are just circumstantial evidence, and very interesting stuff that's happening, very exciting stuff to say the least. Also, I want to cover a few things as well about the NFTs. If you possess an NFT as well, you'll be added to a secret group or a group where you'd be able to communicate with. That has yet to be fleshed out, but that's something I think the team has mentioned. So we've yet to see that blossom. But then again, they haven't sold all the NFTs at this point. There's only 300 has been sold. So we're looking forward to see that mature as well. So there's a lot of opportunities here we want to cover. There's also, for the new holders, if you are following this, and I've always mentioned this, I've never seen this before, but there's a new project that this is a new project. And basically, with that being said, I've never seen any other project deploy a Shibwifhat effect on Instagram, which is basically you can use your camera and it will basically imprint a pink hat with the logo of Shibwifhat on your head. I think that's really cool, extremely bullish, shows you the creativity, the innovative skill sets, and why this is so right for the Solana ecosystem, because the team themselves are very innovative and the Solana ecosystems are also innovative. This is going to be a very healthy and interesting collaboration, to say the least. So very, very interesting stuff here happening here. This is very cool. So we definitely want to take a look at a few things here, and I'm just getting my mouse situated here. Cool. And it's pretty much the website and where we are, what we're doing, roadmaps, and all that jazz. Definitely check it out. We've covered this before in depth, definitely. So, and also to note, we're listed on CoinMarketCap. We're listed on, Juniper, Bitmart, Radium, and CoinGecko as well. CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko are just, obviously feeds to get your analysis and stuff like that on the token. Cool. So you could find the main Twitter, Telegram, all that jazz. Everything's there, verified on Twitter, all that jazz. So let's run through it. Let's take a look. See where we start, man. It's gonna be a wild one. Now, actually, before I do, I just want to mention this to the community now. Look, I really appreciate everybody supporting me. If you like my video, comment and share. If you like it, throw a donation. I think I have my soul wallet listed there as well. I just want to say, look, I do not control all the alpha. I'm not the orbiter of all alpha. I look at things interestingly. I find things interestingly. I correlate things interestingly, and I present a valid case. It does not make me right. And I oftentimes I could be wrong, and I've been wrong. Somebody had found, I think, some really interesting alpha pertaining to an NFT that Yonko has, and I discredited it, thinking it was a scam, but it was legit. And not the NFT itself. We later learned that was obfuscation, but but the finding was legit. And I know respect where respect is earned, right? I do want to say this, look, we've had a lot of issues with FUD, like most projects. We've had people come into this project with fake Telegram account, like fake Ragnars, to try to pump the coin. We've caught somebody that had multiple Telegram accounts that are having conversations among themselves to create an uncertainty and doubt, and then try to show that there's more than one thoughts of doubt that creates the people who are observing that conversation within Telegram to be concerned and then dump their bags, and then they buy the dip. We've caught that. I've caught that as well. We've seen a lot of people trying to create trying to create fake Twitter accounts that mimic influencers and try to manipulate people and things like that. And I've caught them out. It just so happens that all of those occasions, most of these people have, they just so happen to be part of a particular ethnic group. And, I apologize to anybody who feels a certain kind of way or feel disenfranchised. It's not my intention. But it's important to note that when you're in this intellectual jousting match with another person who's a social engineering, there's social engineering you, they're trying to manipulate you and stuff like that, you have to hit them with something potentially personal to kind of throw them off a step back. It's an ugly thing to do, but it's one of the best things to do to out a manipulator. And oftentimes people have said, hey, why do you always say these things, or it's mainly because I don't mean it. I'm ethically that, but I have to say these things because I'm trying to get this person in to out themselves. That's just the reality. It's kind of like you have to push people's buttons for them to get angry. And scientifically speaking, when people are angry, they make mistakes. And it is at those mistakes, it's where I'm able to discover they're liars. So, or social engineers, or whatever it may be. Now, that's just a tactic that you've learned within the dealing with social engineering, and you deal with narcissists and things like that, and people like that. That's just psychological tactics you'll learn. You have to learn how to use anger to expose people. Now, do I hold these feelings? No, because I'm ethnically that. So I can't hate but it's important to note that do not feel a certain kind of way. It's not my intention. It's important to expose these people because, like, by pushing somebody's buttons, I was able to find out this person had two Telegram accounts, because he wanted the last word. So you push their buttons, put them in a zero-sum game, and they'll expose themselves. And this is important because these people are caught pocket skimming. And what pocket skimming is basically you'll create doubt by having a Telegram you have two different accounts, Telegram accounts in the Shibwifhat main account. You start having a conversation among yourselves, trying to manipulate people. And I feel, a certain kind of way about this, whatever it may be. And then people who observe this conversation between two people they think are two different people, but meanwhile they're one person operating the same account. Creates doubt because they're observing this conversation. They think more than one person has seen something that they don't see. And it's paranoia and things like that. It's feeding off of. Then what happens is this creates people to sell their bags, good people to sell their bags and lose their position. The scammer then buys the dip, holds, and then he or she will, or they will create artificial hype, try to pump the community up on nonsense. The market cap goes up, and then next thing you know, they walk away with a 30% profit off an initial investment. This is artificial hype. This is terrible because people are going to look at it and say, well, this is all bullshit hype and all, and it gets really goofed up and all this jazz, right? And it hurts community in the long run in addition to the short run. So if you concern yourself about this project, if you really care about this project, you'd understand the importance of protecting the validity and the accuracy of all the information as much as you can, and being a critic. There's a very famous slogan that Ronald Reagan, whatever you feel about him, had popularized in I think in the 80s. He said something to the effect of trust but verify, right? Trust all the alpha, but verify it yourself. Do your own research. Do not even trust me. Like, I'm not somebody to be trusted. I'm a human being. I'm some random dude on the internet. And don't trust me. Do your own research. And I'm going to show you why I think the way I am. Like, I'm going to look at this and say, look, this is why I think so. Whether I'm wrong or right, that's for you guys to decide. But this is what I think. And it's subjective because we don't have all the facts. We're looking at a thread and trying to see what the entire tapestry looks like. But I'm only looking at the color of a thread, right? So that's pretty much what we're doing here. And, I really appreciate everybody's patience. And I apologize to Shitoshi Nakamoto, Degen Shrimp, and Intezar. Well, we've had people try to scam and try to, manipulate us. And, you guys unfortunately got caught in the crossfire. And it's not intentional. So don't feel a certain kind of way. And I apologize about that. But I hope you understand the motivation behind what we're doing and, why we do this. Because your bag is my bag is your bag. We have to protect that, and we cannot have artificial pump. I'm sorry, it's just gonna. I've seen really good projects go south because of that. So, just wanted to get that out of the way, and I appreciate everybody's patience. And let's get to this really, really exciting alpha. I've put in so much work on this one, guys. It's a blast. Now I may be wrong, but I don't think I am. So hopefully you guys will be the judge of it. If you guys think I'm wrong, drop it in the comments why. If you have a better theory than I do, drop it in the comments. I'm so interested to hear your thoughts on it. And also because the community, the team is somewhat silent, for some time. We saw Wolf Nagato in the chat rather recently. when you see things like this, right, you have to, you have to look at the abstract, the context. It's very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. So let's run through it. You know how my video starts? We are at 15 minutes exact. So the alpha starts. The stuff starts now. So we're gonna go through the general market right now. As of today, we're up 2.14% increase over the last day. So the entire global crypto market is at 2.27 trillion, which is pretty good. Bitcoin itself is up. It is riding high. Bitcoin is at 64K and moving, man. This thing is on fire, right? On the one hour average, looks like some L's. So we'll see what's up with that as this progress onwards. I suspect a retrace as well. Most people are saying retrace. I don't know where that's going to land, but a slight retrace and a push, and it's going to push. So this is amazing, man. Seeing BTC just unbelievable, tearing it up. Ethereum 2.7 up on the 1 hour, 24 hours, 7 day, and it's looking really nice, looking really, really nice. Now we got to look at this BNB and Solana. BNB is at 86 billion. Is it 8369? 86 billion, and Solana is at 74 billion. Interesting. And people are speculating that Solana will eventually flip BNB. Excuse me, given the innovation and stuff like that we're seeing. So very exciting stuff that's happening here. Especially I'm learning that CZ might be coming out of jail. I'm not sure when, but that's going to be very interesting to see and how the markets react to that on the BNB's end, and obviously the overall crypto market, because he's like a crypto grandfather. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. So very exciting stuff happening in the crypto space. Let's look at the highlighted news, the community post. So the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, indicated that there's time for adjusting monetary policies have arrived. Let's look at this a little bit more, folks, because this is interesting alpha. Indicating that time for adjusting monetary policy has arrived, signaling an intent to ease interest rates. Let's go. So this explains why people are so bullish on BTC and Ethereum. It also, because I think Donald J. Trump, shout out to Trump, however you feel, we're not talking about politics here. We're just talking about, people and they're pro crypto or not pro crypto. And Trump administration seems to be very bullish on crypto, especially his meeting at the BTC conference. And then RFK has a deeper understanding of crypto, which is bullish. And he's now on the Trump team or collaborating in some capacity with Trump and not being competitive in certain states where he is, or something like that jazz. Very good to see unity between two different people across the aisle. I think that's great. And I also think that it's great for Bitcoin because both two of those people had very bullish speeches about Bitcoin and the general crypto market. And now seeing this Jerome Powell, and I think we all speculated that this was going to happen because the stuff that we saw with the carryover trades and the Japanese markets was a clear indication that something had to happen because the global financial system was about to collapse. So for those who weren't following the news, right, I'm not an economic leader here. I'm not somebody who does this stuff, but this is my simplistic understanding. The Japanese banks had, I think, negative interest rates or very low interest rates, and some people in the West or around the world would borrow from Japan at these extremely low interest rates or negative rates, and then they would take this money that they borrowed and then invest it in risky assets in the West or in other countries. So you had people would invest in like all these stocks and all this stuff. Now, when Japan started to raise interest rates, their overhead or their margins, became slimmer because now they're paying a percentage on that money that's out. So they start liquidating their positions in the U.S. markets and then, or European markets, Turkish markets, all over, and they started moving that liquidity back to pay and cover their debt because it became too expensive to play this game that they were playing. And with that being said, we saw the markets bleed not too long ago. And the Fed had to react. It understood that there was an equilibrium that was kind of busted, where Japan had their rates really low, and when they tried to raise their rates, it impacted the U.S. markets. So that you definitely had some type of equilibrium that was kind of out of play. So something had to give, and it looks like, given the political pressure of the election coming up, the economic pressure in the United States, obviously the global world, because most of the West use U.S. dollars still as a reserve currency, excluding some BRIC countries. It needed to be a bit more competitive in that respect. So it seems that there was a lot of reasons as to why this had to happen. So it's interesting because I don't know if the inflation has been corrected in the States. So it's either this is going to be like hyperinflation. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know the easing of the interest rates are going to be very positive reflect the positive in the general crypto community. And we're seeing that right now. We're seeing Bitcoin hitting 64K and moving up. So very, very bullish news. And you see people 5 minutes ago are making posts and everybody's like flipping out, and with good reason. Cool. Let's go to the other news here. Yeah, we covered Bitcoin hitting that. Very, very awesome. Seeing Bitcoin lead in the trend on fire. Let's go. So very bullish, very exciting stuff happening in the crypto space. Now, let's take a look at Shibwifhat. As you can see, that good news, and seeing Bitcoin pump and all these other altcoins do extremely well, we've yet to see that stuff kind of tickled over into the memes. We all know there's always a lag. Lag always happens, a delay for the memes. It's always BTC pumps, then your altcoin pumps, and then meme coins come next of said altcoin. So paying very attention to what Solana is doing is going to be interesting, because that's a good a good reference point to see what's going on, right? So if Solana is doing exceptionally well, anticipate some liquidity pumping over into here. So this is what we are at with Shibwifhat on a all time. We're not terrible, but definitely like this is terrible. This is really bad down here originally, but we're doing okay. We're still maintaining a very solid floor, very consistent floor. Remember, it's not the pump, it's the consistency. And it's important to understand that, especially in these times of building, and this is the time where you pay attention to the alpha, you make a decision whether or not you want to keep going in this project, and if you believe you're going to grit your teeth and you're going to slowly acquire. That's what I'm doing. I'm building my bag. I'm building my nest set. I'm not sleeping on a missed opportunity. That's what I am doing. This is not financial advice. This is what I'm doing, because I'm seeing this opportunity. I'm like, man, this is gonna be amazing. So pretty much this is what is happening right now. I do want to cover a few things here. Before I go into that, I want to transition into an interesting story. But before I do, I want to talk about, actually, what I told. Okay, I want to talk about this. So I want to talk about Nero on Ethereum. And this is the Daily Shib, a magazine.shib.io. There are some indications, some clues or some hints that we are located, or we are in reference to the OG Shib project, right? We are more than likely part of the OG Shib project. There's a potential that we are. I can't say with de facto knowledge that we are, but it's very similar, and I'll explain why. I think it's very similar mainly because, look, if you look here, the Shib ecosystem Telegram, there's a lot of similarities between it. Not just this, but the NFTs, the way this project was launched, the Shib swap was released using the same developer tool called Netify, identical. Everything about this release, the same influencers on the same month, just the years were off. Every single thing was done to a very specific T. And this implies either it's nostalgia for a bunch of holders, or this is in fact the same team. I mean, even the audit and stuff like that of the token and all this jazz. So this is a very interesting thing, and this is what we think, and this is what people believe. This is what I believe, that we are part of the OG Shib ecosystem. We are their franchise on the Solana infrastructure, and we have yet to bridge that connection over, right? That's what I believe. And one of the reasons why I think so is because you have to look at patterns. Patterns are very important. And I want to talk about this. I'm going to bring my mouse a little bit closer. I want to talk about this because if you look at the Shib magazine, this is their magazine called the magazine.shib.io, and they're talking about a project called Nero. And Nero is a project that it's on Ethereum, and I'm not shilling this coin. I want to pay very close attention to what this is the Shib's official magazine, and what they're talking about Nero. They're basically spotlighting it. And there were some interesting key takeaways that I caught that are very similar to Shibwifhat. And this kind of paint the picture as to why I think Shibwifhat is related to the OG Shib team. This is one of the reasons why, and this is the big reason. What I'm going to do here is I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to Control F. I'm going to type in Kenzo Labs. Now I want to read this paragraph here. This paragraph. Further fueling Nero's rapid ascent was a 500,000 investment from a well-known market maker, a move that solidified a position within the crypto landscape. Just recently, Wintermute, the market maker behind the popular coin Pepe, keep in mind, who was in popular meme coin Pepe, who was in the original, what dev was in this project early on? It was the Pepe dev. The OG Pepe dev was in the Shibwifhat Telegram in this inception early on. Became one of the top holders of Nero. So what this article so far saying is it's basically saying that Wintermute was somehow involved in a rapid ascent for this new project Nero that has been kind of co-opted by the Shibwifhat on the Ethereum ecosystem. Now, there's more to this part. There's more to this that's interesting. Now, there are speculation in our community that we have yet, there's 100% solidified, but it's not my alpha. It is an alpha that was found by two groups of people. One of them I know very well. He's a very nice, extremely intelligent person. Both of them are extremely intelligent person. And, that's their alpha, and it's at their discretion whether or not they want to share it. They were nice enough to share it with me, but I can't provide you the circumstantial evidence and stuff like that. But what I can say is it's very bullish, and it is legit the way I look at the way they've explained it to me. So there is a slight possibility that Wintermute is somehow involved in Shibwifhat. There's some wallets out there. That's all I will say. That should be that's very bullish. So that's interesting. Now, that's not what I want to show you, because just that. I want to read the second paragraph, and I want you guys to just look at some similarities and the pattern, if you could see it. Fueled by its I can't even say that word. Meteoric rise, meteorite rise, I guess. Nero has forged strategic alliances across the crypto landscape. This includes collaborations with powerhouses like Kenzo Labs, a venture capital firm nurturing promising early stage projects, and Zbeck Network, a decentralized infrastructure powerhouse. Now, and then it says here, Nero's dominance extends further with listings on 7 major centralized exchanges, including Titan Gate.io, integration into ubiquitous MetaMask platform, cement its user friendliness, and all this jazz, right? Now, here's the thing. I think this is technically this is for sure a Shib Inu project, Nero, and this is on their Ethereum ecosystem. So we are not competing with them in liquidity on the Solana ecosystem. So it's okay for me to talk about this. And this is why I picked this, because if you notice the pattern that early on Kenzo Lab was involved in that seed in time, the nurture in our early stage project, and then also Zbeck Network was also something that was involved. Both two of those, Kenzo Lab and Zbeck, were onboarded and made known to the community 2 weeks after Shibwifhat went live. So when Shibwifhat went live, it was that partnership came out. I think Yanko and team posted it that Kenzo Lab has a strategic partnership with Shibwifhat, and so does Zbeck. And that happened within like a week or 2 weeks of this meme coin coming out. This could have been any meme coin, like it's a random meme coin. It is what it is. No. So if you think about that, it's interesting to see that, because here you have a venture capitalist firm that's kind of had its fingerprints on Nero, and very known to the SHIB world, and now they're on the Solana ecosystem, putting their fingerprints all over Shibwifhat 2 weeks after it launched. What company invests in a meme coin 2 weeks after it just comes out? I mean, that's kind of insane, right? Like that's a very risky asset that you're investing in from a venture capitalist perspective, unless you've had agreements, unless there's something that conversations are being had behind the scenes prior to the deployment. Very interesting. The same thing with ZBEC network as well. That's interesting as well. So there's two things here that we know for sure that is very similar to our project that they have. And then there's one thing is the winter mute stuff, which is a confirmation on their end, but ours is still up in the air. So these things are still ongoing, and these things are still happening, and these things are still very interesting stuff. And I think these patterns should be understood and kind of just examined a bit closely. And I think this is a pattern. This is like a blueprint for their launch, the OG SHIB folks. And I think that we are just another token that's going to be launched within their portfolio and created by the OG SHIB. Just we're going to be the first that's on the Solana ecosystem. That's my thoughts. And just basing this off that, right? Also other things too, the small things like the Netify, stuff like that, a whole bunch of other stuff. The way Ryoshi and Yanko, like it goes deep, and that's why I think we're connected. Even building the decks, having the same influencers, the same strategic plan, and everything down to an exact science, a T. It's like there's a lot of nostalgia in this for the team, which is really interesting. So that's some bullish stuff right there. I do want to cover the Shibwifhat coin. It's very important. If you notice, this is the main TG. This is verified, and pay very close very very close attention to the name. Shibwif coin. Very interesting name. Very interesting stuff going on here. Very bullish. Definitely want you to pay attention to that. So what we're gonna do here, you can see the last post was July 22nd, but then we saw Wolf Nagato was in the chat rather recently. We saw him in the chat, I think, yesterday, which is interesting because when Goon had that video he posted, Wolf Nagato was in the chat. He thought it was really cool, and then he more than likely had access to the Twitter account, the main Twitter account, or more than likely he knew somebody that did had access, and he was able to get that video updated and added it. Goon's content. Shout out to Anani Goon, fire content. And when that was posted, very bullish, very cool. But we know that he has some type of access to the Twitter account, but he came into TG, showed how awesome the community is, and then he did not, he didn't go ahead and post something on the main Twitter account because he just wanted to check in on the community. And shout out to Legend. That's a really great perspective to look at it. Very bullish, very interesting stuff going on there. So yeah, all interesting stuff. Now, let's run through the, Yanko's main account. Once again, Yanko tweeted last July 22nd. Very interesting. It's very interesting to see who he's following. Still 20 people. Very interesting stuff going on here with Yanko. He's very interesting folks. And check this out. This is a very unique meme. What does this mean? So, this is interesting stuff. This is a Nani Goon's video. Fire content. Went out there with Goon and we filmed some content and got some really good content all over. You can see the stickers in play. Really good stuff. We're going to take a look at, before we go there, I want to cover the NFTs. This is the source of the alpha. This is the most important thing. And, before I do, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to mute this for a minute. And I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get something to drink because this is very bullish. Hold on for a moment. Sorry about that. I had to let my dog out. It's cool. So let's check it out. So this is very bullish. This is NFT 0, NFT 1, NFT 2, NFT 3, and NFT 4. Now, it's my belief system that these are the most unique NFTs. They're extremely rare and very hard to find. I think this is the working theory is these NFTs belong to the team. That is the working theory. Now, we know NFT 0 doesn't anymore, but let's run through this and why. There is 5 administrators in the Shibwifhat Telegram. These are the people that created this coin, and I'll rattle their names off. Yanko, SBL, Ragnar, Oscar, and Wolf Nagato. That's 5 people, right? And here you have 5 NFTs. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 NFTs. Very special NFTs. So it is my belief system that these NFTs were kind of the first people that got to the swap, let's say, were the administrators. They got their NFTs first. Let's use that as a working theory. You're not going to make 1,000 unique collections and not have one. And at best, if you created it, you want to make sure your team have the best. The first. The legendary ones. That's the working theory. So let's try to prove this theory. How can we prove it? Now, if you remember my first bullish find-in, which was to look at the URL here, and then you can grab the wallet address, copy. This is the wallet address for the NFT wallet, and I'm gonna move this over here. I'm gonna go over here, and I already posted it here because I pre-did this, but I'll post it here and just click on it again. It just refreshes this page. Once again, very bullish. We have over $200,000 in USDC. It's been sitting there since March 12th. It is now, what is it? About approaching September. So we're a week away from September. So let's say the 9th, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 6 months. $200,000 been sitting in a wallet. Team has yet to touch. Doesn't even care. Very bullish, very interesting, right? Now let's take a look. So how I did this, and the working theory was, and this is, I was in a VC, a small VC with Anani Goon and Time. Time waits for no one, and we were just bullshitting and going back and forth and shooting the breeze, and with Goons, with Time and me were like, yeah, we could, we know we could look at NFTs in people's wallets, but we were just looking at the soul scan to see the winter mute stuff and just kind of talk about it and feel good about it, right? And it gave me the idea just talking to Time. He was like, he said something off the cusp, and I was like, oh wow, forgot what it was. And now he gave me the idea that basically we could look at the people's wallets and find out how many coins they have based off their NFTs, and then look at their activity, right? And then it took a step further, and basically what I thought was, wait a minute, if those fire breathing NFTs belong to the team, then more than likely we could find the team, like members of the team's wallets, see what's up, right? It's a blockchain. This is public information. Nobody's gatekeeping anything. These are just ideas, and and pretty much let's go explore it and see if we were right, if we're wrong. So that's pretty much the idea behind it. And I'm going to show you guys it behind the scenes. So this is what we did, or this is what I did, I should say. I came here, went to 100, and then I said, okay, these are all NFTs. You see people are buying NFTs rather recently. Somebody bought 3 days ago. Somebody bought, 4 days ago. Somebody bought, 30 days ago, 1 month. I suspect these ones that are fractions. See, this one's a full one. These are fractions. I think a percentage of the transaction, if purchased off Magic Eden, is sent to this wallet. So even if you list it on Magic Eden and you're gonna sell the NFT, fraction of those fees if you purchase something from Magic Eden does get back to this wallet. But if you go all the way down and you go to page 5 and you see everybody's putting 2.9 in, 2.9 in, it's just, people are flipping out. They're just buying NFTs like crazy. See, the account bought 6 months ago. And we're going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. Here we go. So this is the most bullish thing in the world, because this is the creator wallet. Remember, this is the wallet here that I mentioned up here, right? This is the very wallet, the NFT wallet. That's $200,000 in it. But when this wallet was created, it was an empty wallet. There's no money inside. So they had to send money to the wallet to start the mint process. And this is the wallet the team used 6 months ago to send that the initial Solana to it, and then they use this wallet to mint all this stuff here to start the mint process for the NFTs. So these are like the fees for the mints and everything else. This is the creator wallet. If you look at this wallet here, you will see that in this wallet here, they created the Shibwifhat token and everything else are in the month of January. But the coin didn't come out until February. Think about that. That's very bullish. So this has been long brewing. There's a lot of they've thought about this in depth of what they're doing and their plans and everything. So a lot of the stuff was pre-planned. A lot of the strategic partnerships didn't happen overnight. These things were ironed out, right? Launch date was in February 5th. They were planning the entire month of January. And you can look at the creator wallet and you can see that. Very interesting. And we could prove that because the main account, the main Twitter account, if you go here, was created in January of 2020. Interesting. However, the Yanko account was created in February of the day of the launch. And I have a theory behind this. And this is a very provocative theory, and I'm going to prove it. I believe that the Yanko account is, when people Googled it, they looked at the AI. They learned that the Yanko research is a collection, is like a group of people within the Shib ecosystem that are coming up with ideas and things like that for new projects and being innovative. And this coin is called, the leader, the dev, is called Yanko Research. Now, it's interesting to me because I think the Yanko account is a shell account. I think that there's 5 people in this project, Yanko being a shell account, meaning that the 4 administrators, whether it's Wolf Nagato, SBL, Ragnar, or Oscar, can jump into that Yanko account and operate and pretend to be Yanko. I like kind of exactly like how Ryoshi is. Ryoshi on the OG Shib, it was a shell account. And I also believe that the Yanko account is in fact a lightning rod for all. And the reason why it's done like this is because it's like a proxy, a lightning rod. Everybody shills at Yanko. Everybody shills at Yanko. It doesn't bother the developers who are actually working behind the scenes. You're not going to get inundated with a whole bunch of messages. So it's kind of like Ryoshi. Ryoshi's the front, but Satoshi runs everything, right? That's what I believe. And I'm going to prove this to you. Because of the alpha that I'm about to walk you guys through. Now, before we get there, I'm going to move this over here because this is very bullish. What is this? The NFTs. If this is the case, then it makes sense. NFT 1, 2, 3, and 4 belongs to the 4 Yankos. The 4 Yankos are the 4 emperors. Yanko, I think it's like 4 emperors. And then NFT 0, which would belong to Yanko, is actually because it's a shell account. No Yanko, no emperor, no administrator should have more than the other. It should always be equal. So every wallet, all these admin wallets will have one NFT, NFT 1, NFT 2, NFT 3, NFT 4. Let's say this is Wolf Nagatos. Let's say this is SBL. Let's say this is, Oscar. Let's say this is, Ragnar, right? It doesn't matter, just for sake of argument's sake. This NFT 0 would be more than likely Yanko. But if Yanko doesn't exist, then who would get it? It would create a problem, right? Because why would one administrator give the other, So instead, put it up for the community. Let the community get it. I'm going to prove this to you. If you look at the wallets, it makes sense now. The first 5 NFTs should be the first minted ones, which would be 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And this is easily tracked. So if you click on 0, if I click on this wallet here, open in any window, and I click on this wallet, you guys saw me click on this wallet, it has 10 Solana. Somebody purchased that NFT, right? And you click on NFT activities, you see, that's the NFT right there, right? But he sold it, right? But if you look at portfolio, he doesn't have the NFT. And I know why this was sold, because this is a shell account. This is very bullish. There's no activity in radio silence. When I was looking for this NFT, I could not find it. The NFT was placed on Magic Eden. So because it was listed on Magic Eden for 10 Solana, I couldn't find it. Now, this is the reason why I think this NFT, I'm going to cover why. They didn't want, like the team did not want people to know that this NFT was going to be sold, because they don't want people to know that these NFTs listed here are in the team's wallet. Why? Because people are going to start tracking their wallets, and they have to do a lot of testing on the SHIB DEX, right? Because they have to buy and sell it and do testing, and they don't want people to discover their wallets. So they had to obfuscate it and hide it, and I'm going to prove to you. But before I do, this is bullish. These are the team's wallets for sure. If you look here, and I look at another wallet here, I'm going to open link in a new window, right? I'm going to put all these wallets in this address here so I don't get confused. I'm just going to move this. I don't want to move this here. I got to leave this right here. I should have put all of them together, right? And this way, like that. And then I'll click on, this is 1, 2, 3. Boom. Move it out here, drop it over here. And then this is 4. Grab it here, move it over here. All right. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is 5. Now, so I have the 5 wallets here. I'm going to show you guys what I mean. So we click portfolio, we click NFT, boom, this is wallet number 4. This is, if you click on portfolio, this is NFT, this is wallet number 3. You click on portfolio, you click on NFT, this is number 2. And then you click on portfolio, you click on NFTs, this is number 1. And then if you click on portfolio and you click on NFTs, there isn't any here. There should be NFT 0. But this was listed on Magic Eden for 10 Solana. It was purchased by Legend recently, after I told him. But pretty much how this works is, and he's a legend because he's probably Yanko now. So this would have been Yanko's NFT, but it's purchased by Legend. And the reason why it was for sale is because, once again, no Yanko could have, or no Emperor, no administrator can have more NFTs than the other, right? They all had to have equal. So they put this one up for the community because the Yanko account is in fact a shell account. It's like Ryoshi. Yanko is Ryoshi. This is identical to how the OG SHIB deploy things. This is why it's so bullish, and I'm going to prove it. Look at the transfers of this account. It's been radio silent for 3 months since the NFT's inception, right? And it lives, and I couldn't find this NFT anywhere, and it was only until Ben found it on Magic Eden. So when you take an NFT you send to Magic Eden, it obfuscate like the transaction to Magic Eden, because I didn't understand that part. So shout out to Ben. Now look at NFT 1. NFT 1, in this wallet, there's about 3.1 million SHIB tokens. If you look at transfers, right, and you look at, not Solana, but if you look at transactions or so forth, we saw on this wallet, oh, we see activity today. See activity? But up to this point, it was radio silent for 5 months. Only 8 days ago, we started seeing activity happening. Something is cooking, folks. Something is cooking. Because it's been radio silent only rather recently. Pick up. I'm seeing this for the first time in this video. You see there's activity, there's some testing going on here, right? But if you look here, it's been radio silent. And this is very interesting. Now, let's take a look at the other wallet. You see this has 5.9, close to 6 million SHIB tokens. And this has NFT number 2. You click on transfer, you see a whole bunch of airdrop stuff, but look, go away over here, go away over here, go away over here, go over here. It's literally radio silence. There is no activity on this wallet. Up till what, 5 months ago, 4 months ago? It's been maintaining 5.9 million SHIBs. Very, very bullish. Only recently you see some activity, but those are airdrops, right? So you got to look for where the transactions are. Like you look at 3 months, you're not really seeing much activity here at all. But it has the NFT, it has 6 million tokens in it. All the rest are just airdrop tokens. Now if I go to this one and I look at it has 1.7 million SHIB tokens. The transfer is it's NFT number 3. This is what a lot of people believe, who I showed this to, not the shell, but like told people about. A lot of people believe that this is Wolf Nagato's, and we believe that Wolf Nagato is Satoshi, which kind of makes sense. If you look at transfers and you look at this, right, you see he is constantly purchasing SHIB. And here's the interesting thing about this. I want you guys to check this out. You see this Jupiter partner referral fee vault, and you see that he bought 2,000 SHIBs from Radium, then sells 16 SHIB. 16 SHIB is like $1 or less than $1, and then he acquires more, right? He bought 22 days ago. This account has been radio silent for a couple of months. And it's only until it picked up 22 days ago, about a month ago, and it's buying SHIBs, a lot of SHIB, right? But why did it sell 16? And now you understand why they want to obfuscate the wallets, because they're testing their wallets, they're testing transactions. The Jupiter Partner Referral fee vault, you see this vault here? Well, I'm gonna move this over here. Just I'm gonna minimize this to show you guys. If you go to the blockchain and you look on holders, this is the SHIB token holders this is the contract address for SHIB, right? I'm just looking at the holders. You go down there, you see this wallet on 336, the number 336. This is the holder count, 336. There's a wallet called Jupiter Partner Referral Fee Vault. Now, I just thought somebody created some bullshit ass, thing, but that's not the case, because it's a legit partnership. Add in your own fee to Jupiter Swap. The referral program is an open source program by Jupiter to provide referral fees for integrators who are integrating Jupiter Swap and Jupiter Limit Orders. You can check out the code here to get a better understanding of how it works. By default, there are no protocol fees on Jupiter. Integrators have the option to introduce a platform fee on the swaps. The platform fees is provided in a basis points, 20 BPS for 0.2% of the token input or output. If a platform fee is set by an integrator, Jupiter will take 2.5% of the platform fee charged by integrators. It doesn't support tokens 2022 tokens. Now, there's a lot of jazz in this, but effectively what we came to understood is basically we have a swap, but there are some tokens that we list that we do not have in a pool. So what we're going to do is we're going to provide a connection to Jupiter. Instead of going and send the customers to Radium, we're going to send them to Jupiter. And in doing so, what this does, it basically provides, volume. We're basically like a finder for volume. People come to us, we don't have it, so what do? We basically say, oh, go to Jupiter. Don't go to Radium, go to Jupiter. And because of that, we're getting a finder's fee for transactions on our swap. That is what I believe, because when I used the swap, I saw it routed to Juniper. Well, the thing is, this is a relatively new rebranding. If you go here and you look at this thing, it says here, this was published on August 12th, 2024, 11:04. The Jupiter referral program is now live. allow you to earn referral fees by bringing new users to swap on Jupiter. Some people go to Jupiter app and so forth, and all this jazz, right? This to me implies, right, that you like this had to have been in play with the team, because when I would use the swap 2 months ago or a month ago, I remember checking the Soul Scan and seeing that it went over via Jupiter, and now Jupiter has some partner program, but they now have named the wallet, the actual wallet, which is going to be the transaction for fees. They've named it in August 12th. It went officially live, and they created this documentation, and that's what this is here. Jupiter Partner Referral Fee Vault. That's what I think. So very bullish. But if you go back here and go back to the Soul Scan of the wallets that we're looking at, and we're looking at this wallet that has 1.2 million SHIB, and you can see that it sold 16 SHIB, and the wallet was the Jupiter Partner Referral Fee Vault. So they're buying from Radium a good amount, but they sell 16, and then for testing purposes, they're testing the swap, the very swap that I've used. And this is the reason why they had to obfuscate who had possession of the NFT, because remember, one of the selling points of the NFT, the utility of the NFT, is if you have an NFT in your wallet and you use it on the swap, you're barred from transactions. So this makes even more sense from fees. So this makes more sense. This is very bullish. What is even more bullish about this wallet, though? The inception of this wallet started acquiring tokens. It initially had 700,000 tokens. If you go back in the transfer histories, I think it goes back to like 700,000 tokens. It first started. It was like the first SHIB. It started with like 700,000 tokens. Let me go all the way back. Show you guys. All the way back to all the SHIBs. There we go. This was the first time this wallet got SHIB. Was 6 months ago, right? And I think they have more than one wallet. These are just their testing wallets. These NFTs were reserved for the testing wallets, and I think they probably might sell them eventually, but that's what I think. And there's 699. This wallet bought. This was the first inception of Solana, and it bought fairly at Jupiter, right? Then it sold a little bit, sold all of it, and then bought more. 762, 396, 364. So if this was the first purchase of SHIB, it sold all and bought more, we have to take in consideration, say, well, why is it doing that? Well, it's simple. It's selling to create doubt. People panic and they sell. The price goes down, and the same amount of money is being purchased, and the team is acquiring more. If this is the first inception of SHIB, that's the only SHIB it ever had in the beginning. Look at where it ended up as of today. 1.7 million SHIB. Started at 700,000 and has acquired 1.7 million SHIB. They're slowly acquiring more because they see the value in this token. They understand where this is going. Very bullish indeed. This is the other NFT. This is NFT number 4. This one I think was just placed in this wallet there's no SHIB, there's no soul balance or nothing. The person who moved this one here is extremely intelligent, because this is like they're hiding the NFT. They're basically saying the NFT will exist in this wallet, but how much SHIB I have and all my tokens, I'm going to keep that hidden, so you can't map it. So this person understood that there's people out there that's going to track NFTs to wallets. That's pretty much what I did. And or this could be a wallet that they use for testing of the swap, but they forgot about it because it has an NFT and they were supposed to move transactions and do some testing, and they probably forgot about it because they're doing all their testings on the other wallets. That's what I suspect. It could be either or. However, this is the key. They don't want people to know the wallets. That's the key, right? That is the key. They don't want the people to know that these NFTs belong to the team, right? Because they have to test, they have to do their work, and people might freak out if they see us. They'll freak out, right? And I think at the time, Count was trying to track them down too, which is actually kind of funny. But that's the key. That's the alpha, right? But here's the bigger alpha. And how did I figure this out was Count. Count had purchased a whole bunch up here, starting here. So I knew everything below here, like had to, one of these wallets below this Count had to be the teams, and anything after these, because that's the mint process, had to be the teams. So my investigation was limited to just this. It was very easy to find. Now, with that being said, and all I did was just look at the NFT wallet. That's all I did. Nothing too crazy. Now, if you look here at this, the Shibwifhat token, I covered the Jupiter swap, the Jupiter referral fee vault, which I have to learn more about, but that's what I suspect how it is. And I look over here, this is just an empty soul scan. But if I go, where am I at? So I want to cover this. You have these NFTs, right? And we think that these NFTs belong to the team. The question now becomes, what happens if somebody goes in and they look at the NFT and they find the wallet? And you're like, oh my God, you know, I just found Yonko's NFT and all this jazz, right? Then people are going to know and have a good indication of what the team's activity is like. That could either be good or bad, right? So they had to the team had to have a way to obfuscate, to hide, to launder, to say these NFTs do not belong to the team, they belong to other people. And they may do. They may belong to other people. But I'm gonna prove that that is not the case. Starting with NFT 0. Before I do that, I want to make the argument to say, let's go back to this account, this Twitter account. This is Shibwifhat, main Twitter account. People, pay very close attention to that @ sign. It's called Shibwifcoin. Wifcoin. Whiff is very common at this state, contextually, because of Dog Whiff Hat. But Wifcoin is very strange name, right? Wifcoin. Very interesting. Wifcoin. Very interesting. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to look at the guy that has NFT 0. In the Telegram, when on March 12th, this guy, Pete, posts the NFT 0 and says, number 0. And a few exclamation marks. And everybody, including myself, throw up fire emojis and hearts. And that's this one right here, people. That's what I'm talking about. And I kind of got suspicious. I said, man, that doesn't sound right. So here I am on the Telegram in real life. And what I did was, I'm just going to move this down, show you. I'm in the Telegram, Shibwifhat Telegram. I have searched to where this is. And this is the screenshot that I took, right? And I'll show you did I like this? Time waits. He liked it. Dontello Zen, interesting person. He liked it. Very interesting people are liking this. Interesting. Hearts, Anani Goon. What's Goon doing there? Time Wait's got a heart and a light, a fire emoji. Interesting. And why I'm pointing this out is because I want to pay very close attention to Pete. This name seems awfully suspicious to me. It just seems weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Pete. And what do we see here? He has the fire emoji. He doesn't have it anymore, but he has the fire emoji. He's saying he owns this NFT. And what did he do? What is he doing? It's one group in common. Right? But notice the name. Pete with coin. That's strange. That's very provocative. That's extremely strange. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this out. In real time, I'm doing this, people. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just going to highlight it. Pete with coin. I'm just going to put a box around this. Very interesting, right? I'm going to drop it in the paint. I'm not going to modify. I'm showing you guys what I'm doing because this is how I do my investigation. And people are like, oh my God. And, a non-soul is controlling all the alpha. It's like, no, I'm not. Like, dude, I'm just I'm going. This is all public information. I'm not doing anything crazy. And what I'm gonna do now, because it's familiar to me, I'm just gonna go over here. I'm gonna say, okay, that's weird. Let me grab this here. Grab a little screenshot. Boom. And I'm gonna go into Paint. I'm gonna put this side by side, right? I didn't do anything abnormal. I didn't do anything crazy. All I did so far was just put this side by side. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it both and just look at it, just because I can highlight it and stuff like that. Cool. I don't need this paint anymore, so paint goes away. Pop. And now I have this screenshot here, and I'm just gonna leave this right here because I don't want to touch the TG. I want you guys to pay very close attention. I'm gonna pick, what color should I go with? I should go with pink, because why pink? Solana colors. I want you guys to pay very close to Whiff Coin. Whiff Coin. Pete, 4 letters, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shib, 4 letters, 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the possibility that somebody creates their Telegram account and they call it Pete with Coin and was able to buy NFT 0? And like, why would you pick that name? So that got me thinking that this may not be a person. Like, this person is probably a fake Telegram. Like, this is probably a Telegram, like a person that's like, you know, if you had to create something on the spot and you know, you're not really thinking straight, you're like, a non-whiff coin, because, you know. So I deduce, and I suspect the person that created this Telegram account that owns NFT 0 is somehow connected to the person that created this Twitter account. Whiff Coin, Pete Whiff Coin. It just makes sense. That's how I look at it, because it's an unusual name. It's very unusual. It's not, you know, what is the possibility of somebody named Whiff Coin? Like, it's just, or maybe somebody got so they're so enthusiastic about this project they call themselves Whiff Coin, which is weird, because even in our TG, we don't refer to ourselves as Whiff Coin. We call ourselves Shibwifhat. Very strange. So I think this is too interesting to me. And if this is right, and I think this is right, well, in the TG, this gentleman, Pete with Coin, had made another post afterwards asking people to raid his post. I think that this is Yanko or somebody on the team that manages this TG and may launder that information. And if you go to the Twitter account here and you click on see this Twitter account, this guy called Soul Strider, who's a who has Shibwifhat listed there and is followed by 55 people and 51 people following, made this post on March 12th at 11:32. Remember, the NFTs came in at 11 a.m., 32 minutes after the NFTs come out, that I present to you the first ever NFT by Shibwifhat. Mint 0 out of 1,000. Shibwifhat, Shib Army, and Yanko Research we trust. And then post the NFT. He acknowledges he owns it, and everybody's, you know, liked it, and, you know, right? So if you look at that and you said, well, who's this guy, right? He's just like, what? This guy got lucky then, right? I mean, you click on this guy and you see he listed the website, link to the website, and all he does is post about Soul GPT. All he does, Soul GPT. And you'll get the comments and see who he interacts with, and you follow those people. But most importantly, if you look at verified followers, why is Bruce Porter following him? Interesting. You know, and you look at followers, you know, and you keep going down, MetaGeeks, Inani Goon. Now these guys, you know, very interesting. Lambeo, that's our influencer. Very interesting people following him. You know, and you break it down, you go into his followers, and it gets even to a more rabbit hole, because I'm seeing people like Jane and things like that there, and that's a account that I believe might be suspected, affiliated with the team. But I think it's interesting. I think that Twitter is managed by the team. I really do. And if you look at that Twitter closely, you'll see something interesting about it, because this was created in April 2020. You're talking about a Twitter account that's been created in April 2020, then all you have is a couple sold GPT posts and a Shibwifhat NFT, and you have 55 followers, and a good majority of those followers are big influencers that have shilled Shibwifhat. It's very unlikely. This might be a burner account, like an old account that's been repurposed and salvaged and stripped of all the previous posts and now used to shill Shibwifhat. That's what I think. Very bullish, because they're going to great steps to obfuscate, which is interesting, right? Because they have to get these NFT, they have to trick people into thinking other people have these NFTs, not them. And this is proof that is a trick. And this coin spank is something, a bigger coin than a bigger. I think this Twitter account is managed by the team. That's what I think. Now, see here, we covered the NFTs. We've covered the Jupiter partner referral fee vault. We look at the Twitter space, where it shows that the referral fee is relatively a new idea that came out August 12th, 2024. And then we've covered the Soul Strider. Like, this is legit. Like, I believe this account has something to do with this project in some capacity for it to have the NFT. That's my thoughts. And then finally, we covered the fees and all this jazz. The Jupiter swap. You guys can read about this more often if you want. I covered the wallets, and I'm gonna paint it together. What I think has happened in here is NFT 0, it would belong to Yanko, but Yanko is not a real person. Yanko Research is a group within the SHIB ecosystem where they lead initiatives and projects. And I think that it's really just a lightning rod. It's an empty account that all the other admins have access to jump into. And I think that it's a lightning rod because they know that people can become, very annoying and ask a lot of questions and stuff like that. And the other NFT 1, 2, 3, and 4 belongs to SBL, Wolf Nagato, Ragnar, and Oscar. And I think that's what that is. That's why these NFTs are in those wallets. They're using those wallets to test on the swap. They're making transactions to test to see, the NFT works or the swap is up to par or whatever it may be. So that's what I think is happening with these NFTs. Whereas this particular NFT 0 would belong to Yanko, but they don't want to have a situation where one is more greater than the other. So what do? They put that NFT up for sale on Magic Eden. That was later acquired by a few other people. Legend. And shout out to Legend. That's amazing pull. To be fair, he's now I think Yanko at this point, right? But I think this is pretty much what I'm thinking, right? Like, I covered why I think this is related to the OG SHIB. I've covered the alpha about the wallets, about how these wallets are still acquiring, they're still buying, right? I've showed that they've been radio silent. No activity has been on those wallets for some time. Only until recently have we seen activity, and then when we see activity, they start acquiring. They start buying more, and when they do sell, it's like 16 SHIB. 16 SHIB is hardly not even nominal. That implies there's testing going on. There's some type of test, trying to test and see whether things are working right on the swap and the fees and all this jazz, right? So what I'm seeing here, and I'm telling you guys, what I'm looking at is that, number one, we know the swap is working, at least in the capacity to how I used it, because Taringa leaked the swap. Very bullish info. And you're now able to track wallets because of the NFTs. And I proved to you guys with this photo here, and I didn't cover this, that these are the laundered NFT, right? Look, if you look at this carefully, you'll see that Pete laundered NFT 0. There's another account called VixC laundered NFT 2. And notice that Ragnar liked this one by VixC. Ragnar didn't like anybody else's NFT. It was only one he liked. It was this one. And then there's NFT 1, which is owned by Donatello Zello.
And then there's finally NFT 4, which is owned by Flagship. So these are all, I believe, these are all laundered NFTs. Like they're laundered, they're laundered for the purpose of obfuscating what wallet belongs to what. I'm so tired. I'm sorry, guys. I just ate a big sandwich, so I feel kind of tired. But yeah, this is what I believe, you know. And if you notice here that the only NFT that's missing is NFT 3 with the mohawk. It's the only one that doesn't have a hat. And Legend pointed out that that one looks more so like it belongs to Wolf Nagato, because Wolf Nagato looks have that Vegeta style here, right? So interesting take. I could definitely see that. All right, yeah. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I believe these are the laundered NFTs. They were put in there just to obfuscate that, hey, look, the team doesn't have these NFTs. This belongs to somebody else. But I think that these do, in fact, belong to the team. And I do believe, and I can prove that with the Pete coin. The Pete with coin is so tacky and so easy to see through. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you guys like this content and you guys like what I'm doing and all this jazz, like, comment, share, subscribe. And, if you feel generous, throw a donation my way. I'll take Soul. I would really appreciate it, really, really do appreciate all the assistance, wherever the assistance is needed. And, like, if you guys think that I'm right, or my alpha, the circumstantial evidence that I'm cited here is on par, drop me some content. Let me know, like, yo, this is fire or whatever. Or if you disagree, let me know why. If you agree, but your theory or your conclusion is different than mine, let me hear it. I'm all open ears. Let's find out. But this is very bullish. Extremely bullish. The fact that I'm seeing a wallet that's been radio silent for 2 months slowly acquire SHIB within 22 days, that's bullish. You know what I mean? So exciting things are happening for sure. Activities happen, conversations are being had. If you're working intelligence and you see, like radio silence on like Al Qaeda, whatever, and then you notice that they start talking and chattering, and then you figure that like, they're ready to, something's ready to go down. So that's how I look at it. Like there's a lot of activity and this looks ready to go down. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all the alpha I have. I think I'm digesting my foods. I'm getting a little bit tired. But there's more stuff coming through the pipes. More things that we're looking at. More stuff that I'm trying to find and track. But that's the conclusion, right? I think I went deep, right? Like for me to find this Telegram account, and basically say, hey, these guys might be like fake Telegram accounts. Let me take a look and see, and then. Lo and behold, Pete with coin is like, it's just very, interesting to see, and it lines up with Shibwifhat coin, so why not, right? So I'm very bullish on this project, man. I think like the team is working to get the swap ready, like and release it. You've seen there's a lot of activity, a lot of people are circulating this early on. You saw that in the article they mentioned Pepe. We had the OG Pepe dev in their TG. You look at the activity where the team is slowly acquiring more SHIB, starting from 700,000 all the way to 1.7 million. They've gained about just under a million SHIB. You look at the other tokens as well. They're also still acquiring SHIB. Like, it's very interesting, to say the least. So it's like, I made the good analogy saying that like, it's like watching Nancy Pelosi buy, Pfizer stocks before COVID hits. Right, some insider activity, and you should feel bullish about it. I mean, I know I do. But yeah, I mean, that's all the work I have here. Really appreciate everybody listening to me. Once again, like, comment, subscribe. If you feel, and hey, I did drop some really good alpha, throw some donations. It's attached to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate all the assistance I can get. And I really thank everybody. I apologize to everybody who may have been offended or may not have been offended, but it's not intentional. And I really appreciate the opportunity for you guys to listen to me and stuff like that. Yeah, right on. Very bullish. Thank you for the opportunity. You guys have a great day. Peace.